Welcome to the Dateable AF podcast, because women dating women is wild, wonderful, and occasionally a disaster. I'm your host, Dr. Sarah Kyle, a therapist in private practice.
And I'm your co-host, Rachel Howell, researcher extraordinaire.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Afterparty for Season 2, Episodes 1 and 2. We have missed a few things to talk about. We've gotten quite a few comments and questions from listeners that we haven't gotten to address yet. So we're happy to bring that to you guys today.
Well, we stirred up a little bit of a hornet's nest about the whole idea of texting somebody when you get home. And so I think
we sure did.
I think Sarah maybe got a shit over there. I'm not sure. And I'm just going to say right now we're working under some adverse conditions because we've got somebody doing yard work in the back, and we've got Joe running around in the house. I can hear her in there a little bit, I think.
Lord have mercy.
Anyway.
I can't hear anything because I got my noise canceling headphones on, but she's out there yapping it up, I guess.
But she's so mad at you.
I'm about to talk about her. So after the episode where I said that someone asking you to text or call when you got home, when I said that that was control, Joe approached me. Actually, she came to both Rachel and me, and she said, "Do y'all really think that's true?" And to be fair, Joe does do that sometimes. If our friend is at our house and they're leaving, she'll say, "Hey, text and let us know you got home okay." That I think is a fairly benign, kind thing to say. What I was referring to more was two people out on a date and one of them asks the other to check in when they get home, I think as a way of making sure that person went home as opposed to going out and doing something else.
Yeah, that's two different things. And don't you find that we do it all the time? You don't ask me to do it. If I'm over at your house with Joe hanging out and I get home, I'm usually saying, "Hey, thank you for the great meal and game night," or whatever. Made it home and it was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So those are things that normal people do that. I don't think it's necessarily a control. The other feedback I got, which was really great, was from a fellow podcast host, Sharima Lee. I'm going to give a shout out to her. Her podcast is called Good Enough Today. And if you haven't listened to it, you can find it on Apple and Spotify and probably some other platforms as well. But Sharima said that she is a Black woman, and she said that for Black and brown people, it is really ingrained in their culture to ask someone to call or text when they get home, because there are so many times that those people might not make it home, that there are lots of dangers and perils they might be facing from the police or other things that they often will tell each other to give a shout when they get home. And so her perspective on that was that could have been a cultural thing that I, as a white woman, think it feels controlling, but that for someone else, it really might legitimately be a safety issue. And so I just wanted to acknowledge my own blind spot there and say that I don't think it's always controlling when you ask someone to call or text. But if it's my way of ensuring that you actually went home instead of over to someone else's house or out somewhere else, then that does feel like a form of control.
I love that. I love that feedback. It's obviously we are two white women over here looking at these issues through the lens of our world. And we really encourage, please give us this feedback. We will bring this stuff forward. We are happy to lean into a different look at this. And I'm sad to say, when you brought this up to me, it made perfect sense. I'm sad to say it made perfect sense, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm sad to say that actually I got a text from someone very near and dear to me, whose family member, and these are people of color, who he got hit on the side of the road in the middle of the night and got killed, and didn't. The same thing. It was definitely one of those tragic situations where the only way that they didn't think he had family, and the only way that anybody knew, was because they hadn't heard from him. And they were used to hearing from him. So that It was interesting that all that came up at one time.
Yeah, food for thought. Yeah, for sure, food for thought. The other feedback that we got was from one of our favorite listeners, Michelle, and she said that she and her partner had been discussing one of our episodes and that they kind of reached a sticking point, and that she thought it would be really good for us to start including prompts for couples to talk about or for people to talk about at the end of our episodes. And so I thought that was really great feedback. So starting in our next episode, we will be including prompts that you guys can use to chat with your friends or your partner or whomever, so we can keep the conversations going. And we always love to hear what you guys are saying, what you guys are thinking. If you agree with us, if you disagree with us, it's always really fun for us to hear your feedback. So don't hesitate to email us, info@dateableaf.com. You can DM us on Instagram, and please follow us on Instagram. We're kind of lonely over there. Social media is not really my jam, so please give us a look. Give us a heart.
We're on the struggle bus with that.
I'm trying to be better about it, y'all, but it would
both of us
really encouraging if you could just follow us and give us a like on our Instagram. It'd be even better if you DM'd us, Dateable AF. But as always, please keep your questions and comments and feedback coming, because that just makes our day when we hear from you. And thank you for listening to the Dateable AF podcast, where we help you find your happy ending.
And remember, be bold, be kind, and for the love of queer dating, don't text your ex. Stay dateable.
AF.